Hey there, welcome to another Tuesday night watch talk with on the Bobby Legs Loves Watches channel. I am your host, Bobby Legs, and I'm joined with a bunch of friends. We've got a full team here this evening, and very excited to talk about a couple of things. Let's go around the horn and say hello to everybody. Wolfgang, how are you? I noticed that you promised last week a surprise guest, but can you tell us what's going on?
I know it's disappointing, but the guest, didn't show up as planned,
Mm.
so I couldn't join with him today.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
apologize.
Okay.
It's not my fault. I tried everything, but he didn't show up.
Yeah, yeah. Is
He
he
is
is
supposed to show up today,
yeah,
but
yeah.
after yesterday's strange behavior, who knows what's gonna happen today, right? I mean,
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of the strange behavior, but maybe that's for a different night. Wolfie, what do you have on wrist?
especially for you,
Ooh,
the
man.
panel reserve.
Yeah, let me get a solo layout because I just love that one. I am convinced now that that's the variation that I need to get. That rose gold with the black
Mm.
dot. That
Yeah,
may or may not happen ever, but that's
it can
that's the one
happen.
to have. That's the one to have.
I think
Moving
all of
along.
your watch energy should go towards getting it. Like if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But at least all of your watch energy should go towards getting it.
Yeah, but there's another watch that we're going to be talking about tonight that I don't know. I think more of my watch energy needs to go to that one too. But we'll see. We'll see. Speaking of Rick, hey, how are you doing? Thank you for joining us. It's been a while. How's it going?
I am doing fantastic. Yeah, great to see everybody. Appreciate the invite, Rob. Good to
Yeah.
be here.
Yeah, and more to it. Why Rick is on tonight, in a bit. If you can't, figure out what the title, there's some explanation. But I assume Rick, you're wearing something German this evening.
I am, yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. That's the watch we'll be speaking of very very shortly. Beautiful. Thank you, Rick. Amin, hey bud, what's up?
Hey guys, I'm nervous now because of what Wolfgang says. Is Wolfgang? Is this who I think it is? Like you don't have to clean the hair in your bathroom because he hasn't showed up. Is that what?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Am I
yeah,
talking about the right person?
yeah.
Oh, you got me nervous now because I know a little bit about recent goings-ons, and you got me nervous for the welfare of our good friend
No,
here.
we shouldn't worry too much. I think
Okay.
Okay.
we should. Hopefully, we'll find out later
Oh, I'm
and
nervous.
tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
All
You
right.
should be nervous about the bathroom.
Yeah. No.
Different story.
We're nervous about that, and we're nervous about a friend, but mostly the bathroom.
I,
Yeah.
I'm I'm good, you guys, and
Okay.
these guys made me go grab a German watch, so I got the Damasco on the wrist today.
Fair enough. Beautiful watch. Hey, Marcus, what's up, bud?
Hey guys,
Keeping the streak alive. The Joe DiMaggio of the Bobby Legs
keeping the
live
streak
stream.
alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
There might be a week coming up. I think I might be at the symphony one week. We'll see.
Well, you
Mm,
gotta cancel
fancy.
Hope
that.
you're well.
Yeah.
You
What are you
know?
doing? Symphony. Come on.
Symphony. What do
It's
you do?
Bobby
Like,
Legs.
yeah. What do you risk that? What's
S-
going on?
yeah. Today I got the ham. Got the new strap. Joe was
Oh,
saying
Ooh.
you don't see me wear enough. So maybe my new thing will be I'll show up every week with a different strap on the Pam.
that
Ah,
looks great.
it,
That
it
looks
is
really great.
it is a strap monster. That's what they
White
say.
dial,
Yeah.
that powder blue, North Carolina blue accordion strap.
Oh yeah. Are you a Tar
Perfect.
Heels fan? Are you a Tar Heels fan? You like a little
No,
Rasheed
I just
Wallace?
I just
No?
like the color.
Looks
Oh,
great.
okay. All right.
I like the color.
Fair enough. Hey, I got wearing my Zin 356 this evening for the special German Watch Love Fest that we're gonna have for a little while anyway on the stream. Let's say hello to the chat, and then we'll get right into business. Maison is here. How you doing, Maison? He is wearing his H Moser Pioneer Matte Swiss red, beautiful watch, man. Hey, Keith, how you doing? There's Chaz. What's going on, Chaz? James is here. Wearing his Tudor North flag. Great to see you. Hey, Joe Chang. All right, Joe. Good to see you, bud. Nilo is here. How you doing, Nilo? Bruno. What's up, Bruno? Rick. Oh, there you are, Rick. Colin is here. How you doing, Colin? Good to see you, buddy. Mr. Finney. Hello to you, sir. Michael B, yo yo yo. Michael M, hello from San Diego. Hopefully you're dry, Michael. I know there's been a lot of rain over there. Scott is here. The amount of watch in this live is immense, and I am glad I've caught it. Oh, thanks, Scott. Appreciate it. Fake Dr. Alex, hello. Caliber here. Hey, Canadian Watch Monkey. Wolfie is getting sexier every day. Is that possible?
Oh,
Every day? All right. All right.
thank you.
Uh, chicken in from Pittsburgh is Ken Spear. Um, eh, and Michael, he's wearing his dial, Gap
Cool.
1, a salmon dial. Very nice. There's not too many of those out there, the Gap 1. So having two, on the stream, so to speak, is very, very cool. Peter C is here. Good to see you, Peter C. Brownie is here. How you doing, Brownie? Let's see, anybody else? I'm seeing all the, hey, Mr. Time Hill, Steve is here. Good to see you. And I think I got everybody here. Hey, everyone. Sorry, I'm too lazy to type everyone's name on this device. Yeah, it's a little bit pain of a butt to do that, the chat on the phone, right? Because you can't add somebody and say hello. So I get that. We're gonna keep it.
Just a quick question: do we
Yeah.
know that Time Hill has a senator, Geo?
A Geo? I don't know. Well, I mean, we know.
Do we know that?
He
That's a good
definitely
question.
has a Geo.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
trying to
he's
think if he has more than one Geo.
well, he's saying he's wearing a Geo
yeah.
Senator in honor
Okay.
for the panel.
Yeah, we knew about that, Geo.
We knew about it. Okay. He
Okay.
gets a pass.
Yeah. Hey, Wayben is here. Good to see you, Wayben. Sartori Biller is almost here. He's going through quite the ordeal getting his Sartori Biller. He's explaining it to us on the Bobby Legs Discord channel. Way to plug that in there, Bobby Legs. Okay. And okay. Hey, we got everybody here all accounted for. So the reason why we're talking about the Gap 1 tonight, the Benzinger Gap 1, I mean, this is a newish model that came out at some point early last year, I believe. But Watchfinder, with all its greatness, did a review or a discussion about the watch, and they do a great job with the macro shots, and Andrew's a great narrator, and it was just a really, really great video to see. And why not ask our resident watch friend Rick, who has one of these Gap ones, to come on this evening and talk about it with us, and let's get a little presentation. I got a little presentation going here, guys. Let me.
We're going high tech.
There we,
Oh,
hey,
wow.
look, there we go. And that is,
Preparation.
yeah, and that is actually the picture of Rick's Gap 1 on his wrist. Rick, this piece came out, I think, at some point last year, like maybe early last year, or at least announced, maybe. Maybe it was at the tail end of 2022. I can't remember. But what I guess the best way to start off is like, why, what attracted you to this watch? Like, what was the appeal here? Had you ever owned a watch with a Benzinger, dial before?
I have to give you and the Bobby Legs Discord channel and this YouTube channel credit. I mean, I learned about this watch when it was released through all of you and through that method. And, like a lot of things, I contemplated and thought about it. And, you know how watch buys in the US works. You got to put a deposit down. And once you do that, you're committed. And then you've got to wait. And I just, I think a lot of that I'm a dial aesthetics guy first. Everybody, some people really love movements or are, really into certain case sizes or case shapes. But I just, I love various dials, love guilloche. And, Benzinger does such a wonderful job on the guilloche. Now I have another watch where he did the guilloche, the GOS watch, the Norsken watch, and he did that there too, and that's equally beautiful. But and I know you and others in here have owned Benzingers in the past, and different variations. He's got a couple of different companies, Jaeger and Benzinger, and a few different iterations of collaborators that he works with. But this watch, what really excited me was not only the dial, but the fact that it was a proprietary movement, or a movement in partnership with Richard and Maria Habring, and to me that just elevated the whole game a little bit. And I thought I would take a chance on it, so I put a deposit down and waited and waited and waited and waited, and I think it showed up mid-year, spring, summer last year.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what I think, and speaking of that collaboration, I mean, like, Benzinger with his own brand, the Benzinger brand, you'll see a lot of, you'll see the 6498, the Unitas DTA 6498, and he just basically makes that watch into that movement into something that's unrecognizable in its basic truest form, right? I mean, the engraving and all the stuff that he does. But this watch is a little bit smaller than your typical 42 millimeter case that will house the Unitas 6498. This is a like you said, a proprietary movement. Now, is this like, we've seen Habring do this before. He's taken I think it's like the Valjoux 7750 and kind of like deconstructed it and built it into his own modular type movement. Is this based on something else? I mean, I would imagine it's based on something.
Yeah, I'd have to lean on Amin, I think, as more of a movement expert. But I'm sure that
this is a 6498 base.
Totally, yeah.
It is a 6498.
Yeah, it's his.
It's modified by it's modified by Richard and Maria.
Yeah, and then further modified for this release. So
yeah, because and I mean, and that's interesting because the case is small. I mean, this is a 39 millimeter case.
Yep.
So I'm sure that there was some heavy modification on there to make it fit. Speaking of fit, how does it fit? It looks like it could be a little bit on the thick side, but maybe it's just because of the smaller diameter. I don't know, but how does that fit on your wrist?
Yeah, very contemporary. It's 11.5 millimeters thick. So there you go. There you got the specs, and fits squarely. I've got a little bit of a hang up. It's not so much size, but when a watch kind of wobbles and sits lopsided on your wrist a little bit, that bothers me. Sometimes it's just a matter of the adjustment, but this comes with a deployant strap, and that helps, get it nice and snug. It sits squarely. I don't find it to be too thick. I've owned a couple of Kadoki in the past, and I found those just to be a tiny bit too thick for me. So this,
Yeah, for and I think that just needs to be put in context a little bit. We're talking about thick for a dress watch, right? I mean, this is no 15 millimeter chrono, right? But for a dress piece, especially with the Kadoki, and I've had that same experience. I mean, I just thought that it was a little bit thick. I mean, it didn't really bother me, but I just noticed it's a little bit thicker than you would normally expect. Now, I know the lugs appear to be straight, which is like a very German characteristic. But it's a short lug to lug, right? So it's not like a long lug to lug like you see with the wiry, long, straight lugs typically with German watches. I mean, the lug to lug seems very, very short. So I feel like it almost it doesn't sit on your wrist like a hockey puck, I would say, right? But I mean, it just fits. It's just right, I would imagine.
I think it's just a very contemporary size. My sweet spot's probably 38 to 42, and if you narrowed in 39 to 41, so this just fits right in there. Every now and then I'll get a watch, and it's difficult when you order watches these days because in a lot of cases you can't try them on before you order them, and sometimes you're a little disappointed with one aspect of the watch. There was no disappointment in this, both the finish and the aesthetics as well as the fit, and I've never once felt like it was too thick.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I got a few more questions, and guys, I don't want to, if you guys have questions, please jump in and chat as well. So I've known you for a few years, and I know you as a a collector of some really fine independent pieces, right? I mean, I know you have your typical mass produced type pieces, right? I mean, you had Omegas, you had Rolexes in your collection, but you have a lot of like very specific, very very limited kind of independent pieces. How would you rank this, and especially with the thought of like how much it's actually priced at compared to some of these other pieces like the Wooten Lylands of the world and the Chopex and all these other brands that you're very, very familiar with?
Yeah, I think that's maybe the most surprising aspect of this watch is I just think that it looks and fits and is finished at a level that I would expect to be significantly higher than its price point. I think the retail is probably 13 or 14 now. It wasn't that when I ordered it. It was, 12 or something, right around 12 when I ordered it. But, to me, this, and I'd be interested, we've got other people on the panel here and other people in the chat with large collections. I mean, to me, this is a watch that is, the finish, the architecture, the beauty, the dial aesthetics, certainly to me feel like a watch of at least twice the price.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. Hey, Amin, Wolfgang, Marcus, if jump in if you have anything. So I see a lot of design influences. Somebody's in the chat mentioning Roger Smith. They has that look on it for sure. Brigade hands. It feels like when with that combination of a layout with that intricate guilloche work. Like I don't know. I feel like I could give it a pass for kind of borrowing a lot of design language from stuff here. You know what I mean? Like, and I know I'm hypocritical when it comes to that, but when I see like the work, when you see the work of the guilloche, and this is all hand done. This is rose turn engine. This is hand guilloche, right? This is not stamped. This is not whatever machinery they're doing. This is the real deal. And then when you flip it over in a case side, like I feel like and the movement side, I feel like be it hypocritical, I can give it a pass with some of the influences where I wouldn't give other watches and some other models a pass on design. Does that? You're a dial guy. Does that even like bother you? And I'm not saying that it should or shouldn't. I'm just saying that some people will point it out, and say that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I certainly didn't know that and didn't hear that when I committed to buying the watch.
Yeah.
Subsequently, I've heard it. And I don't think Jochen Benzinger has gone out of his way to dispute any of that. So
Yeah.
I think that there probably is some intentional, design homage, borrowing, whatever. Doesn't bother me. I can't. I'll never have a George Daniels, Roger Smith type watch. So. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I think that it's very beautiful. I thought the movement was totally proprietary. So I'm sure, Marcus, I believe you. I just didn't have that understanding. And like Rob, I think, that it's 39 millimeters would be very, there had to be some significant modification, because this movement doesn't look like it's even completely filling the case, and a standard 6497 16498 would be packed, like right to the edge, I think, of a 39 millimeter case. The design, I think that everybody, George Daniels, Roger Smith, like they're taking heavy inspiration from Brigade dials. I mean, Roger Smith took a little shot at this on Instagram, and I took a little shot at Roger Smith because, he's not making, completely, uninfluenced dial designs either, right? He very much, like, literally picked up where George Daniels left off, right? And this is, and George Daniels, again, very inspired by others too. Benzinger, I feel like in this world of really famous watchmaking masters getting huge premiums for their work. He's like this extremely respected, master of skeletonization and dial design who, the hype hasn't lifted the prices to astronomical levels, right? Like he's as respected a dial guy, let's say, for example, as like, for example, when Joshua Shapiro speaks at Horological Society of New York, he puts Benzinger up as like a master, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if Josh Shapiro did this collaboration with Habring, I bet that there'd be more hype, right? It's just for some reason Benzinger, isn't these are still relatively affordable, so I think there's a ton of value.
Yeah, and I think leave it up to Watchfinder, bringing some attention to this, and we'll see. The prices of the Gap one has increased steadily over the last year, and I'm sure we're going to see further increase. One last thing from me, anyway, Rick, and it's hard to see in this picture, but the crown I find very, very interesting. The crown here, and I'll kind of put. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse, but the crown on the top, the 2 o'clock position, I would say. It seems to be like a thick coin edge, but it's not like it's angled, right? Rick, it's not like your typical, crown where the knurling is directly perpendicular to the watch, right? It's almost like angled, like a 45-degree angle, kind of.
Yeah.
How any kind of feeling? Does it feel different at all, or do you have to like?
I think it, intentional or not, or just happenstance, but I mean, I think it helps with it helps grip the crown.
Okay.
You know how some watches are buttery smooth and just super, and then other watches have a little, takes a little more effort to wind. This one falls in that latter category. It takes a little bit more effort to wind. So I think having, a crown like that has a little bit of, that different texture actually helps.
Yeah, and if you guys, I mean, I apologize, I don't have a picture of it because I wanted to talk about it, a better picture. You can find one online, but it almost looks like it doesn't belong. Do you know what I mean? Compared to the rest of the case, right? I mean, the rest of the case is, polished. It's kind of like straightforward, nothing crazy, but it's like an interesting twist, and no pun intended, to the rest of the case, that crown. And I dig it. I kind of like it.
Yeah, the crown's at 2 o'clock.
Yeah,
and
2 o'clock.
Then at the traditional 3 o'clock spot, you've got a little
Date pusher.
protected date pusher.
Yeah.
So.
Right,
hey,
right.
just a funny story, Rob, real quick. I mean,
sure.
we talked about the Watchfinder video, but
Yeah.
last fall, I don't know, it was September or October, I did a independent collection review with Tim Masso of Watchbox, and I took, I had Grubel 4C and David Toon and Gronefeld and FP Jorn. You know the watch that he was most taken with?
This one, right?
He was personally both on camera and off camera. He spent a lot of time on camera talking about it. But this is the watch, and part of it is, hard to show Tim Masso a watch he hasn't seen before. Well, he had never seen this watch before, but I think he was genuinely, truly, very, very impressed with what was accomplished here. And he, all of those great watches on the table, this is the one that he most admired, I think.
Yeah, and I remember seeing that in the video. I was like, he was like, hold up. He's like, what is? He's like, and he like basically that's what he locked eyes on, right? As soon as you guys started talking about your watches. And I found that very, very interesting too. Now, here's some of the pricing, right? I mean, it's a little bit more than retail on some of these. The retail goes from like the high 12s to, I mean, I think the low 14s, depending on the dial that you get. And so some of these are maintaining their price, maybe going up a little bit more on the secondary. Now these watches, are limited. If you go on the Watch Buys website, each of the variations will say limited to 50 pieces. Now, I'll tell you this, and I'll show you. We're going to show you some other Benzinger watches in collaboration with Jaeger and Benzinger. Some of them, those, for years has said limited to 50 pieces. And I know for a fact they made more. Um, but I don't know if that's like limited to watch buys 50 pieces. There is no like numbering on the back of the case, is there,
No,
Rick?
no numbering and no serial number, and you don't. Yeah, it's
And
pretty
and,
limited.
and I don't want to detract from I don't mean to detract from that. I mean, I'm just saying that there is, if you are interested in this watch, I don't think your timeline is, there's not too many people are going to find this watch, because maybe this is something that they just a rabbit hole that they won't go into. But there is a chance that you can get that. I think.
And I'm not 100% certain, but I think when I ordered this, that the version that I have
Mhm.
was the only one that was introduced
Yep.
at that point.
Yep.
And then they subsequently introduced, one, then
Mhm.
another, then another.
Yeah.
I think they're all beautiful. I know we've got somebody in the chat that's got the salmon. I think that's an absolutely very classy, stunning looking watch. I think all of these color combinations look very attractive.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Mr. Casio says, I love the absolute complementary opposites that Jordan pieces are versus the Gap 1. German 50. Chess says, in quotes. Joe Cheng likes the blue black Gap 1. Pretty sick. Yeah. Caliber saying, yeah, I remember Tim talking about the watch and how he liked it. Maison liking that salmon one. And look, so for some of us, at this price point, it may be something that's a little far off, but there's other watches out there that has Benzinger's involvement that is, maybe more affordable. And I have a slide here. Well, these are the other variations that I put up. And we can go back to this, but he, in partnership with Jaeger and Benzinger, there are a few watches here that are around the $5,000 range that are just beautiful done. The one up here on the top left, second, so in the middle, right there, the with the Breguet hands and the Romans on the top there, is similar to a watch that I had, and the guilloche, and it was just beautiful. It was just beautifully done. It was beautifully done. The movement was nothing to write home about, in the sense that it was a mass developed unit, manufactured movement, that they found some old stock in, and he guillocheed and engraved the heck out of it, and it was just beautiful, just beautifully done. These watches, you can get them for around $5,000 on watch buy. So if you want to save up and get something that was created by a master guilloche artist, or whatever, however you want to call it. They're not, there's not too many guys like Joachim Benzinger out there, right? And I feel like this kind of artistic, handmade expression is gonna die out. I mean, like, it's just not too many people are picking up the torch with this. I mean, you have people out there who are doing it, but we're talking very, very few with the expertise and a skill level like this. So anyway. Yep, and Mr. Casio, he is wearing the watch that we're talking about right now. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and I think that's all I got for the presentation. Rick, thanks again, man. Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing
Thanks.
that with us.
Thanks for talking about my watch. Fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Very
Hey,
awesome.
any final thoughts or questions before we move on, guys?
Great watch, love it.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, Austria's taught us three things, right? Parades aren't always safe. Don't sit in an open top car. And if you're looking for proprietary movement, talk to Maria and Richard Habring. That looks absolutely unrecognizable. Now you've got me doubting my source of information, whether it's a 6498, but I do believe it is based on it. Same power reserve. It's got a lot of it's a very robust watch, and I think that when they cite some of the stuff, it does have the shock absorbers and all that was a 6498, but it looks modified beyond any sort of recognition. I compare Benzinger kind of to Roland Murray, in the sense that I think he's a very well respected. He's a very stable, sustainable, independent. But it's not going to be something that's gonna shoot to the moon. You know, it's not a Pekulik, it's not a Kadoki. I think he's basically the German version of Roland Murray. It's just an excellent pieces, but again, it is a bit of a niche. It is a bit of a niche sort of corner. The way I've got this giant Venn diagram of people, right? We're in a vast minority of people who actually wear wristwatches. And then there's even smaller minority that are not, you know, gray market flippers. Then you've got an even smaller minority of those that can actually tell their what from a watch that isn't a Rolex, Omega, and Breitling. And then we have an even smaller corner where we look at these kind of things, GOS, Sarpaneva, these really Murray, and now Benzinger. That's a corner that even I don't occupy. I think Amin and Rick are the ones that really kind of occupy that, and Joe, I guess. But it's really, this is not something that I see taking off. But this is really a halo model. Guess it's quite limited. If you see it coming up on Loop, this might be a good buy, especially if you get any sort of good deal. So I love it.
Hey, one quick
Everything
thing
about it
before we
screams
move on.
value.
I, like a month after that Watchbox video, Jochen Benzinger reached out to me on Instagram and just personally thanked me for highlighting the watch. I'm like, it's part of my collection, and I took it in there. So, but how nice that you've got a watchmaker who interacts with collectors and individuals. It was really, really nice of him to do that.
Yeah, I had this similar experience with Kay Yeager, Jochen Benzinger's partner, and Yeager and Benzinger, and when I had their piece there, and showcasing it a lot on Instagram, like he followed me, and we had conversations. Right, we've had conversations on Instagram, and look, anytime I put a German watch, he's like one of the first people to go like it. You know what I mean? And it's just, it really, really is very cool when you kind of have that direct contact with that. And Amin, you've had that experience with the Brand Satori Billiard. You know what I mean? Like you've had that. Had him on the show, on your show. You did a stream with him.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to have that kind of albeit for a far relationship, but a contact.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Instagram's a great place for that too. Like every time I get a picture liked by one of the very, very small brands or watchmakers, it's cool. Yeah, look at Chaz. He's killing
it. He's killing it.
Got watchmakers reaching out to him all the time.
One thing about Benzinger, I feel like maybe it's just the marketing, but every time I see a picture, like he's often at the guilloche machine or at one of these, watchmaking benches and tools, and the tools are in hand. And I feel like that's very rare. Most of these watchmakers, even Roland Murphy, like he's like told me like, this is the guy in my place who made your dial, right? Which is cool. Yeah. But I mean, I feel like when I see Benzinger, it's like he's the guy making the dial. You know what I mean? I don't know if he actually does, but that's how it looks in the picture.
Well, you can be pretty well assured that Kari Voutilainen's not working at the Rose Engine.
He's very yes. Very.
He's in the boardroom right now for Urban Jurgensen.
Yeah. I mean, and if you and chat, if you are curious, just go on YouTube. Look up Jochen Benzinger. There's not a lot of stuff out there, but you'll see little snippets, little 1 or 2 minute videos. I don't know if it, of him just like, working on the engine. There's a couple of interviews like in German, which is, if you don't speak German, maybe you talk to Wolfie and he can help translate. He said he'd volunteer to do that before the show. So any transcripts, for those videos, he'd be happy to do that. Anyway, so please go check it out. If you're interested, it's good stuff. Okay. So let's
these are all sold out though, right, Rick?
Yeah, I'm not sure, Marcus. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you could. I think you could place an order,
Hmm.
right? And then like well with Launchwise anyway, and they'll tell you how long it'll be. Like you got
I'm
to put
getting
a
itchy.
deposit down. You
Yeah,
know,
I'm getting itchy.
like
We'll see.
I think these are made to order. Let's put it at, until they reach their
They definitely look made to order.
yeah,
He's
right.
13 grand. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
Okay.
it.
So let's take a look. Hey, we got some releases. Yeah. Um, one of Amin's favorite brands, Raymond Wow. Hey, they came out with like what, a sector dial here?
Wait, wasn't this the GPHG watch?
This one GPHG.
Did this
Yeah.
really?
Yep.
Why are they making a big deal about it now?
No,
On
this is hands-on, so you've got to look for introducing from them. Hands-on
Oh,
is like this watch was released 3 months ago, and then we finally got
that's
our
how they
hands on it
got me.
because
This is they're
it's
saying
possible to get your hands on this because it's such a hot
exactly.
watch.
It was too busy beating Messina ass.
Yeah.
egg on my face. But let's highlight it again because they're beating Messina ass. All right. So that's right. I gotta look in new in 2024. You're right. I don't know. I
But
just got excited. I want
you
to
have
talk
to look
about
for
it.
introducing.
Introducing. Yeah,
yeah,
they do
especially
make it confusing. They shouldn't.
Yeah.
They're kind of annoying that
No,
way.
no, it's right. There's hands on. I got too excited. I just really wanted to talk about this, but now I just kind of like took
It's
it out of
good looking.
yeah.
But what about that F Freddy C? I'm sure Amin's got something to say about that.
I mean, this is good looking too.
I think so. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
super priced.
Yep.
Amazing priced.
Yeah.
Wait, is the tide has the tide turned?
I mean, even before this hits the Freddie C toxic depreciation, the price is good, right? What is this, 12, 13
Yeah, I think 12 euro.
for perpetual calendar, and they got the strap right. It's very sporty looking. It's an in-house manufacturer, perpetual calendar movement. It's got some nice dial side, exposure of the movement complication.
Yeah.
And what's not to like?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you one thing that kind of bothers me a little bit, and I just don't know what the answer is to it because I don't want to also detract or distract from the skeletonized dial. But the skeletonized hands here. I mean, I would imagine for a guy like me, this is probably going to be hard to read the time, but that's me just nitpicking here. I don't know how you fix that. I don't know if you don't want to attract too much attention to the hands. I get that because you got so much going on the dial.
Because you got to be able to read those the dial, right? That's the
yeah. That's the thing. You're right. You got to read those discs. Yeah. I don't know how you make me happy with this one. But
Doesn't look too bad on these pictures.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah.
12,000 euros. I
They
guess
had some leases. We need to give them more credit.
Wolfgang? Are you saying that we should take Freddie Cassant more seriously?
Absolutely. I think we need to stop shitting all over them.
Is 2024 the year of Frederick Cassant?
I'm just ready to take this release seriously. I'm not ready to take the brand seriously. I will take this release seriously.
Well, they have that Tourbillon Meteorite Platinum. I don't know the name of the model, but that it was 40, but it was damn good looking. Even the movement looked pretty good. That goes down to the usual 20. Might even consider buying a Tourbillon one day.
Wow.
And this was, designed with help from Peter Speak, so it's they got some, respect there. Speaking of collaborations, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to be toxic. Like this, you can't compare this to, a $30,000 JLC that you can get for the same price as this pre-owned, right? At this retail price, you have to compare it to, because this pre-owned is going to take a hit too.
Colin's got a special message for Marcus. Rick, you owned the Freddie C.
I did. Yeah, good. I thought great Great pre-owned value for the money.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I also think that
Good designs lately. I mean, I can't remember them all, but last year I always thought like, wow, that's another good looking Freddy C.
yeah, I mean
They just been hitting it.
they also that monolithic escapement
Exactly.
is really
That's
cool
another
too.
great one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really cool technology. I mean, I wouldn't put it on the front. I mean, I know they like the open heart thing, but I think if they put that on the back and made a nice front, it's really cool technology. I mean, if Seiko made that monolithic escapement, people would be, or Christopher Ward or whoever, somebody who people don't give crap to. It would be a big splash.
They
I'm
have
ready to give Freddie C more respect than Christopher Ward. But that's
Okay.
me.
oh for sure.
Okay. 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 Hey, Pepe, these nuts is here. How you doing, Pepe? Chaz is saying Wolfie is still jet lag.
No,
Uh,
no.
Colin says stick to Chronos,
Of
Wolfie.
sound mind.
Stick to Chronos.
No. I mean
Says.
yes, but no.
Yes, but no.
Big Riz says one of my favorite automatic autox was the FC Whiteout dress watch. It was okay, nothing amazing. So do I, Joey. So do I. I do love it when that shows up. Christopher Ward announcement tomorrow. Who's staying up for the unveil? Okay.
I'm
Well,
just going to go to sleep right now just to spite that question.
okay. Okay.
Well, the
Moving.
Belcanto is nice though, right? That was a good release too.
Very good.
It was a really good release, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. Let's see here. Hey, I want to. Where's the watch? I need to talk about it. I need to get you guys feedback on it. Where is it? Where is it? Hello.
I'm sure you're too late. It's sold out
I
worldwide.
think it was deleted, yeah, rightfully so.
Oh, you guys know what I'm talking about? You guys know what I'm talking about?
I have a feeling.
I should probably just search for it, right? Let's go. Studio. What's it called? Studio
Underdog.
Underdog.
Studio Underdog.
Okay. Hey, look, these watches are wildly popular. They're wildly popular. Wait a second. Where? Nope. Do I have to go to monochrome? Sorry, guys.
You got to Google it. Just
Oh,
Google.
I gotta Google it. Okay. All right. Studio Underdog watches. Is it gonna be on that pizza party? Hey, is this fun or what? Amin, is this fun? Rick?
It's fun for some people.
Makes me want to never eat pizza again.
See, I think that watch is never fun. So whenever someone says this watch is fun, it's usually very ugly, and this is the case. It's
But I mean, look at the pepperoni, right? Oh, look at that's clever how they do the
I feel like my toy robot watch is fun. I mean, for me, it's fun.
Hawaiian pizza. I mean, look, you can do so many. You can do so many.
they put a pizza photo on the right there.
Where? Oh yeah.
There's
Oh
a
yeah. See that?
That's the inspiration right there.
I mean, I love pizza. Right.
I love pizza too,
Yeah, me too.
just not on the dial.
Hey, Wolfie, speaking of pizza? Like, what's the pizza like in Austria? Is there like schnitzel on the pizza? Can you get schnitzel on pizza?
Oh. No, yeah, we have some decent pizza, not the best in the world, but depends.
Is it like chain? Is it like Domino's?
Yeah, they have all kinds of chains too, I'm sure, and they have some Italian-run places. A lot of Italians operate restaurants in Austria. They have it's okay, probably similar to here. I mean, if you consider the whole of the United States, you probably got some of the best pizzas in the world. But overall, it depends, like real good ones and medium quality and just like the cheaper versions.
Yeah. Marcus, what's wrong? What's wrong with this watch?
This watch is I hate it. It's the worst watch ever. This is like the John Harbaugh locker room dance of watches. Like it's so egregiously bad that I hope that it curses the brand not only for this year but like for years to come. Like I was just like after I saw the Harbaugh locker room dance, I was like, I hope they don't win the Super Bowl, and I'm like, I hope this brand fails after this watch.
But
this is just awful.
But this is fun. Nobody's getting hurt here, right? I mean, like,
nobody's getting hurt by the Harbaugh locker room dance, but
there's a UK brand called Mr. Jones watches who does this right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Okay.
Like,
yep.
Have you ever seen those?
Yes. Doesn't Joe have one?
Does he have one? I know he's looked at them, but I feel like they do it right. It's like it's like a little bit clever, a little bit interesting. Yeah. They got a watch with like a guy floating around the pool in a like a inflatable tire, and you can tell the time based on their location. I mean, it's just somehow more interesting than this. This is
there's whimsical, and then there's grasping, and then this is grasping.
This is like
is this better than is this better or worse than the Louis Erard 404 watch?
This is worse.
It's worse, and it's worse than the Moser Eraser watch. It's like that kind of stupid energy, but like more.
But in a shitter.
But and
just curious, how much is this abomination? I mean, what are they asking?
It's probably less than. It's probably like $600 or $700.
A few $100.
Yeah, I mean, this is a Seagull. Chrono movement on there.
Does it have a price?
Does it have? I don't see a price here, but they usually run. It's under 1,000.
Then you have to purchase in person.
Oh, that's right.
$650.
Yeah,
that's right. You had to purchase this in person. Wherever that's why they give the. I'm sorry. I know I'm jumping around here, but that's why they give the tour. Here, the tour dates. Here, where to find Richard.
It's bad.
So wind up this October, guys. That'll be your Wolfie. That's going to be your shot.
Well, I like this brand.
I've had friends from Australia message me and say they bought the original. They got drunk and they left it in the front door of their car, and hooligans broke into the car and left 2 other pizza party watches behind. And they were just calling me in church. True story, absolutely true story. I'm not making it up.
But maybe if you go and pick one up at Wind Up, I'm willing to go with you.
See, I think you like the watch.
I don't, but I like you buying the watch while I'm there.
Oh, you want to see me watch the watch?
Yep.
Rick, I could see this like in a wrist roll, in the middle of your Gap 1 and, and one of your FP Jorns. You know what I mean? Like you could just take this, like,
You can see that, huh?
I could see that.
I could see it as like you're really worried about the watch roll getting crushed, and then you buy 2 of these and you put them on the outside, and then you leave the FP Jorn in the middle.
I think when I exit the hobby, this is still not in the collection.
Is it? They're saying it's an April Fool's joke?
No.
I think Amin, it started as an April Fool's joke with the guys at Time and Tide or whoever they did this collab with, and it started that way, and it turned into a real.
People liked it, so they made it.
I guess. Yeah.
Aye.
It just tells you something about the brand that people would actually like come up with a hypothetical April Fool's watch that they would think you would be stupid enough to put a pizza on their watch. Like, what does that tell you about people's impression of the brand?
That's what. Okay, I see it. They made an April Fool's concept, and then people kept asking them, "Where is it?" So they made it. That's like That's like, okay, you guys are that.
Yeah, you guys are that brand.
Yeah.
Yikes. I mean, look. I mean, these are. I mean, look. Okay, the watermelon. I know this is actually. They do have a following here. I mean, I know this one is a very popular watch.
I think
Yeah,
Deadhold, Bark, and Jack, those three guys on the
yeah,
you know who I'm talking about?
Time.
yeah, yep.
Yeah,
About F1.
I think they speak highly of these Studio Underdogs.
Of course they
Yeah.
do. They probably got thrown money,
Yeah.
allegedly.
I think
Okay.
all the exactly, Marcus. I think all the influencers do. You know,
Mm,
so
I mean, look.
allegedly.
I mean, this is a good looking chrono. I mean,
No.
the Goofy
No.
Panda. No, really. I mean, like for the price. I mean, like $600. I mean, like look at. I mean, that's
I got a Furlan Mari first.
what.
Yes, I
Ooh.
said it.
I think
I
I'm
don't
there
believe you.
too. This is worse than a Furlan Mary.
Yeah, this is worse than a Furlan Mari.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh
this
my
is
God.
probably the Goofy Panda is probably the least expensive of them, but it's still bad.
Rest assured, Marcus, you can get rest tonight. Keith aired on his CW announcement. He broke in with the news, and it was 2 days early. Yeah. I don't know. I think people like having fun, you know, and we're not those people when it comes to watches. We don't like that fun.
I'm definitely no fun. I'm no fun.
Okay,
Yeah.
wear
like
them in
fun.
health.
Yeah. So Wolfie, before we start wrap it up, any last word? I mean, like, do we know where our friend is? Is he still on? Is he coming? Is he really coming tonight?
As far as I know, he's in the
Okay.
air,
Yeah.
and I'll be heading to the airport later.
Is
Oh,
he coming with
wow.
anyone? Is he bringing anybody?
Not that I know of, and not
Oh.
that I gave an okay as
Okay.
a house guest.
I sure hope not.
Unless it's GC, right? I mean,
Well,
like,
if it's GC, I'm good with that.
yeah.
Well, they're supposed to, stay with me. I need to be
Yeah.
okay with it.
Well, you're getting
Yeah,
double
so
the
much
hair
hair.
if it's GC.
So much hair.
if it's GC, they're staying at the Four Seasons. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Then whatever.
Yeah. Hey, Rick, anything on the radar for you? Anything like, not necessarily that you would necessarily buy, but a watch that has caught your eye or interest lately?
You know, I'm just continuing on my path to gradually, logically reduce the collection. Made some good progress in 2023, and hoping to do so again in 2024. A little bit tougher environment to do that, right, with the softer market, but
Yeah.
a couple of things coming in. Hopefully my big Gronefeld piece comes in here in the next month or two. I'm expecting it. Anytime in the next 60, 90 days.
Yeah. Well, looking forward to seeing
Very
that
exciting.
when that comes out. Very exciting. Yeah. Hey, Marcus, I know you're kind of like on the prowl, but now
Yeah,
that seems to subside.
still thinking about the Hublot. We'll see.
Yeah. Oh man, that watch! I love that watch. Hey, Amin, what do you got on your eBay list? What have you been searching?
Marcus got me looking at some Hublots. In fact, one just popped out on a Facebook group that we all many of us look at.
Yeah.
And titanium 42 millimeter Big Bang Unico. But I'm probably going to sit tight.
Yeah.
I had them both on wrist, and I think I do like the titanium. That's the only thing holding me back, because there's a white ceramic that's really close to me. And I was leaning white ceramic, but then I just had them on wrist yesterday, and I don't know whether I want to hold out for the sky blue.
Marcus was waxing poetic
Yeah.
about the movement technology. And Marcus is a very, very convincing guy. Like he's the one who sold me on the Octo Finissimo once upon a time.
Yeah.
And
It's still a good watch.
Oh yeah, totally. I know that. I'm not saying like you duped me. I'm just saying when you see the merit in something, you're influencer. And now you got me thinking about this Big Bang Unico.
Rick, would you consider a Big Bang Unico Hublot?
I would do it as part of a package group purchase if we were,
Okay.
you know, if I was guilted into it. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I am not a Hublot hater, you know.
yeah.
So,
New
Wait, how
Year's
did?
resolution: make 2024 the year of Hublot in our group.
Wow. Wow.
It's a good group.
Yeah. Yeah. So Ublo's around. Okay.
I'm right on the fence. I think I just need a push in the right direction. If Wolfie
So it's just a matter of time, Mark. It's not like you're just like getting cold feet. It's just like, okay, well, there's another Ublo now that you like.
yeah, well, it's the exact model but in a different material.
Yeah, yeah.
Do I want to wait around for the titanium that Amin likes? Because I had them both, and then I've seen
Which
the
titanium with the
titanium
ceramic
with the
bezel?
ceramic. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I like that one.
because I think the one that's circulating in my area, it had the old dial where the date wheel is really illegible. So that's another hold up for me. Because I think they updated the date wheel, and so it's like they've got the black background on it, like they've got the skeletonized date wheel. But when it actually displays, it skeletonizes through, so it's almost illegible. So that's kind of what is holding me back. Because the newer ceramic ones have like a solid background on the date wheel.
Yeah.
Scott's saying if you don't want to buy the Hublot, just buy one of the Zenith Hublot homages.
not far
Those
from
look
the truth. Yep.
those look good. You mean the Zenith Day 5s you're talking about? Those look good.
Yeah.
Like the Skyline, right? The one that's on. I like those. I saw those in person.
Yeah. All right, well, guys. Hey, listen.
Doesn't
Yeah,
agree.
sorry. Who doesn't?
Colin doesn't agree with our resolution, but it's not a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have the cojones to come on to the stream, so you know what I mean. So he can just say what he wants over there in the peanut gallery. Hey, Rick, again, thank you so much for coming tonight and sharing your experience with a wonderful watch with the Gap One. I really appreciate it. Wolfie, Marcus, and thanks again so much for joining this evening chat. Again, thank you, and I appreciate you so much. You guys have a good rest of your week. Look out for Watch Soup on Friday night with Clayton and I, and the Lions are still in the playoffs, so we'll be doing Watch Soup on Friday nights until probably after the football season when it goes back to Sunday nights. Anyway, guys, have a good night. We'll
Good night, guys.
see you then. Good night.
Good night.
Take care.